Well, hello my beautiful Sagittarians, welcome to my channel. This is Baba Jolie here with your monthly reading for July 2025. I've already cleansed your space and I've meditated on your cards. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for all your wonderful likes, shares and subscribes. I am truly grateful for all your beautiful energy. Just a little reminder though, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading, just so you're aware. Also, please be mindful, scammers are about, pretending to be me and lots of other tarot readers. I do not do personal readings and I will never reach out to you personally to offer one. Also, I will never ask you for money, e-gifts, or donations. So if anyone masquerading as me asks for anything at all, please report them or ignore them. It is a scam, okay? Let's move straight on with your reading. Now, I'm using Gaia chimes, so please be mindful to turn down your volume if you are someone who is sensitive to sound, okay? So let us begin. Okay, my beautiful Sagittarians, this is your monthly reading for July. I can't believe we're here already, but here we are, blink, and we're already in Cancerian season. Where is the time going? I have no clue, but I don't know if you noticed about the energy of the Gaia chimes just now. You know, in the rich tapestry of life, I really felt the energy was giving me that there's something in your life right now that you've been very consistent with. You're building something and it just feels like it's one note at this moment in time. For some of you, no matter what you try and go off and do that's different, it still comes back to this one note. So you may feel that something's made you feel a little bit flat recently or disappointed, or it just feels like you're stuck in a routine and you're trying to break out of something there. So let's check in with the cards and see what's going on there for you. I just thought I'd mention it because it was something that came up in the energy. But we have, of course, officially moved into Cancerian season, my beautiful Sagittarians, and this is a time where your heart space opens to nurture close relationships, as well as focus on the things that you care about the most, and of course, prioritizing your own self-care needs. Now, on a personal level, July offers a softness to really tap into your rich inner world and lean into your emotional landscape to cathartically assess where you feel secure and, of course, where you feel you could reinforce some more boundaries. Also, if you're lucky enough to have some time away, even if it's a moment of stillness, it will give you an opportunity to recharge and refocus, but it will remind you that there is truly no place like home. So this month will actually set you thinking, where and who feels like home? Where do you feel like you belong right now? But most importantly, you'll be coming home to self with compassion to re-energize. So if you've been feeling a little bit detached from self recently, caught up in the busyness of life, it's been highly pressurized recently, or even if you feel that you've had to abandon aspects of self to give unconditionally to others or to projects, this is the month that encourages you to reacquaint with yourself. Enjoy moments of stillness to connect to your higher self, but also submerge yourself in hobbies or quality alone time. And let's not forget that Jupiter, my favorite planet that is highly connected to you, my beautiful Sagittarians, is the planet of good luck, expansion, and opportunities. And of course, you may not feel like there's been a lot of good luck available recently. We've had some strange and challenging planetary shifts over the last couple of years there. But, Jupiter will sit in in its favorite sign of Cancer, because that's all about unconditional opportunities and good luck. And it'll be there until June 2026, increasing the opportunity for prosperity despite the very changeable environments that we all find ourselves in this present moment in time. Now, anything that you truly care about will be given a boost of positivity, a time of heightened emotions where you honor them rather than suppress those feelings, and a reflective month where nostalgia could literally come knocking on your door to make you either smile or even plunge you into a deep healing process to detach and finally let it go and let it flow. Basically, returning to happier times is what this month is all about. And the full moon occurs in the sign of Capricorn from the 10th or the 11th of July, depending on where you are in the world, of course. And this will bring in the work-life balance review, as it were. That'll be firmly on your mind. Even if, you are not working right now or you're not focused on a career, it's really about how much time that you give to having fun. So, Saturn will actually be a very hard taskmaster on us all to remind us to remain organized, get your projects and tasks, responsibilities done, like paying bills, doing all of the stuff efficiently, and only then can you head out to play. But equally, if you've been working too hard and neglecting your personal needs, July asks you to find that balance and that space for fun. You owe it to yourself to find that balance and to feel truly fulfilled. Also, we have Mercury retrograding from the 17th, so you may see a reemergence of an ex. Well, some of you will, of course, and some of you may actually return to a project that you've been meaning to prioritize. Now is your time. Also, I would suggest saving down any important documents, as Mercury retrogrades can interfere with the internet or apps glitching, even power outages. And there may be some delays in communication or travel, and even misunderstandings too. It's always important to get everything in writing so there can be no misunderstandings. Now, of course, beautiful Venus, planet of love, nestles up to Uranus this month, and that can reignite the spark in existing relationships, whilst adding a spicy encounter for those who are currently single to suddenly meet the love of their life. But basically, this month is all about home. So you may spontaneously create something that beautifies your personal sanctuary, or purchase something that is a surprise even to you, and maybe even suddenly revamp with some DIY or restructure. And you have the Tower energy there, so I definitely see here that you are doing some major overhauls in life in general. It feels like everything's changing. You're shifting. You're the Tower of Power that is making a radical shift there. And I feel like you're being your true authentic self and feeling that some things just need to change, even routines. So I feel like a lot of you are, jumping out of a comfort zone, coming unstuck, as it were, not feeling rooted to the spot. This month is basically about feeling secure and connected to those that you hold dear as well. And there are energies outside of that to contend with this month as well. We have Uranus, a very unexpected and unpredictable outer planet, okay? Its middle name is Plot Twist, for it likes to disrupt the status quo, and I feel that's what you're doing in your life right now. You're disrupting the status quo so you can have more opportunity or more variety in life. It also adds a revolutionary flair and often rebellious dynamic. And as we are in Cancerian season, it's important to tap into your inner compass to navigate any surprises. And that Tower energy, it can be a surprise for you as well. So we will tap into that and see what's going on there. Now, of course, this month is all about how you feel. So you may even surprise yourself with a sudden change, and you definitely are. That Tower energy is very spontaneous there. And this new direction or this new lifestyle choice or change, or even maybe a change of style, whatever it is, it feels like, you may do it suddenly, and it may even shock others with your decisions. But this is your true authentic life, and you're living it the best you can. So also in terms of global events, and please fast forward this part until I hold up your first card if you don't wish to hear this part, but we have Saturn and Neptune stationing, then retrograding. And, you know, this means they both move back into the sign of Pisces, which is very unique and a very big deal. Now, this planetary movement has in the past coincided with some significant global changes, political upheavals, revolutions, and the dissolving of structures. So on a global scale, I have to give it to you straight. Hold on to your hats, as we are in for a bit of a bumpy ride astrologically. I mean, we can all feel it as well, so you probably don't need me to tell you about all the alignments to know that something is afoot that will change. Now, I want you to be aware with all this swirling energy, okay, we are in Cancerian season, which seeks peace and sanctuary and also grounding through chaotic times, okay? But I have to make you aware that because we've already, you know, seen the might of Saturn, which is considered a cosmic bully, it clashed with Neptune there with such dynamism. It threw its weight around in June to chaotically push us towards creating new structures. So I almost don't want to think about, you know, what could happen next with Uranus in the mix, because of course Uranus is the addition of an unstable energy, and it may add a shock factor this month globally before any sort of resolution or peace is found there. Now, of course, we also have Uranus leaving the sign of Taurus, then dipping into Gemini. So we could see some radical shifts economically from now, but I would say expect the unexpected. And we will see a major climax economically for some sort of shift or change in November. But personally, I'm keeping an eye on a particular alignment called Kal Sap Dosha, okay, often called the Dragon's Grip. And this is where 7 major planets align between Rahu and Ketu, the north and south nodes of the moon. They're often considered the dragon's head and tail. And my guides gave me this, okay? I can only give you what my guides gave me regarding this alignment, but it was the strait from Tokyo to Indonesia. A midway point marks the spot. Java shall quake as the ridge doth rise. Now, I can't tell you if a major event will occur in that area in July or not. I don't often get dates, but this chaotic alignment will influence us heavily until the 28th of July. So it's worth noting and keeping our eyes peeled on energy in that area of the world. Now, it can bring significant transformation in terms of landscapes and, of course, massive seismic and volcanic shifts. However, as I mentioned, with all these volatile cosmic alignments and clashes, I want you to be aware that Cancerian season searches for that peace in that chaos of turbulent times. It seeks to find understanding and resolution in uncertainty, so security can reign against once more. It will try to guide us home to peace and to love, but it will have to work really hard against these planetary shifts and alignments. And of course, Saturn can be reframed. It's all about duty. And as we move through July and beyond, we all have a duty to passionately lead with light in our hearts, to exact compassion and understanding. This is our world, and we have a right to live peacefully in it. So hold that vibration of peace and love, and together we can shift the energy towards a world we truly desire to live in. But on a personal level, you know, there's so many different levels of energy. I want you to be aware that this is a month to maintain and sustain, to find comfort and joy in the present moment, to make the changes you want to see in your world, and lean into July as a respite before launching yourself forwards towards accomplishing your goals with greater speed, because this tends to be a bit of a lull month, okay? But also you're going to have that help of Jupiter's great benevolence and support. And your first card there is the Tower, so I would say plot twist time. I mean, this is your protagonist energy, which means this is your energy. Something that you've been stuck in for some time that's been frustrating. I mean, I feel the pressure is on. If you think about the nature of a tower, it's like this buildup. You're actually building something, but you care so much about it, and it's frustrating. You may feel like you are in a certain position where you can't go any further, something is at a stalemate, or you may even feel like you've hit your level on something, your plateau, and enough is enough. You're drawing a line in the sand. You know, this can be a card where you're giving yourself a personal wake-up call, that if you continue to accept things as they truly are, nothing will change. So you are being that radical change that you want to see in your world right now. And the Tower, it says here, things are not as they seem. An opportunity for you to rebuild stronger. Okay, so if you are having a wake-up call in any area of your life, I mean, this could be that you're holding yourself to task, that you're being strict with yourself, saying, okay, I've overindulged. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to create a structure, some sort of plan where I'm going to stick to it and I'm not going to be tempted. I'm going to limit myself here. For some of you, it could be that you've been accepting some sort of passive-aggressive behavior from someone that normally you really respect or care about, and you've been giving them the benefit of the doubt. But the Tower says, no, I'm not doing this anymore. It says enough. Okay, so I feel a lot of you have reached a level in something, and a lot of you are under a lot of pressure right now. But I also feel here, especially with that Ace of Swords, you're taking action to do something. I mean, for some of you, that Tower can literally mean that someone says something or you blurt something out that even surprises you. And looking at the energy, the Star means that if it is something that is critical but truthful, it can wound a person, but it will change the dynamic. It is a conversation that needs to be had so that things can heal, so that things can be revealed. So if you've been dealing with something that you've been holding it all together or holding it all in, I feel July is the month when it all comes out, tumbling out there, so that it can set you free. It can set the person or the situation free as well. Now, of course, the Tower is a major restructure, so a lot of you could be doing some DIY, maybe a change of home. Some of you thinking about relocation or just looking at a structure that you've built in your life right now that you feel really fed up with. It could be that you've reached a certain level in your career because your second house is influencing you at this moment in time. And of course, second house is all about your finances. So a lot of you with that Tower, it could be that you feel shocked that you've spent a little bit more money than you expected. So now you're taking accountability for your actions. You know, we all like to treat ourselves from time to time, but there could be, you know, something in your second house that makes you sit up and pay attention with that Tower energy. It doesn't have to be your spending habits, though. It can be that someone has perhaps overstepped a mark, and with that Ace of Swords and the Knight of Swords, you know, this can be that you're doing something radical about it. I mean, these cards indicate a major lifestyle change or overhaul, and I feel like you're promising yourself that July is the month to do it. So whatever it is for you, because it's going to be different for all of you, I feel this is you kind of like saying enough. I can't keep accepting excuses or even making excuses for yourself, because we all do it. I feel like you're making a declaration to self to say, I'm taking decisive action now, and no more sitting and waiting, or no more sort of slipping into a bad habit or routine or feeling stuck. I feel like you're taking back the power there. Now, yeah, the World. The World card indicates you're very goal-oriented this month. I feel there's something that you have in motion right now that you're focused on. You're going to make great headway on that. So I see that it's not something that you will fully complete. So I feel it's something ongoing, but there are other smaller tasks that you will fulfill and complete. And this can be before you go on a vacation, for example. You could get a lot more done than you expected, but there will be this flurry of activity before you do that. I would say, you know, don't be too hasty, as it were, because with the Knight of Swords there, if you're rushing to complete something or rushing to do something, you know, there could be, you know, a minor kind of trip up there, or you have to return to something because you make a mistake. The potential is there. I don't see you making it, but because the Six of Cups is in the resistance position, there is, you know, a potential for you to have to return to something. And for some of you, this could also be someone else's mistake. Okay, because you have a Seven of Cups here, which can indicate that you don't see how they could have made this mistake. And it could be that you school this person, or you kind of like make them have a wake-up call where they need to slow down a little bit. Otherwise, you know, things will be very chaotic there. Now, of course, your next card is the Ace of Swords, so there could be some new information going on there for you that comes in and kind of radically transforms your life in some way. Documentation, something that you're curious about, but it actually has a positive outcome, whatever this is, because the Knight of Swords is always, you know, an energy of a positive outcome. You transforming something, taking the lead on something. But this Ace of Swords, you know, this figure is kind of like resting, but they're on their cell phone. So it could be that you read some shocking things online or shocking events online, but with that Ace of Swords And the Knight of Swords, I would say it's really critical to get the facts on it. Don't just rely on what you see immediately that is there to trigger you, because towers can be triggers energy. You know, it can be that you need to dive a little bit deeper, investigate information before allowing it to affect you, or even sharing it with others, I would say as well there. Okay, get the facts first, very important. I mean, I see a lot of you working really hard, and your second house is all about value, how you value yourself, but also looking at situations where you feel like you give away your power or undersell your talents, or even notice when people underestimate you. So it could be that you have a critical conversation with a person who keeps interrupting you. For example, if you've got that one person that when you're trying to form a sentence or you're talking about something that you're passionate about and they keep, yeah, okay, and then they intervene, you're like, hey, I'm talking here. Ace of Swords is all about talking. It's like, I have something to say, and you definitely have something valid to say. But it could be that you call someone out who keeps trying to explain something to you that you already know, or who tries to kind of like cut you off mid-sentence. That's definitely coming in. I mean, you do it diplomatically, looking at the energy, but the star can indicate that you need to reveal something that perhaps has got critical. It's gone too far. You've allowed it for some time, hoping that perhaps you may have hinted occasionally, look, you know what, that really annoys me when someone finishes my sentence, and you may just say it like that, but they haven't listened. So now you have to dial up a notch here with that tower to say, okay, things are getting critical. You know what, I'm talking here. Did you see my lips stop moving? No. Am I still talking? Do you hear my voice? Yeah. So don't talk over me. So it can be something like that that you're dealing with in the month of July there. And that's only because we have some spontaneous clashes going on. Of course, the rest of the month will be very peaceful. I want you to be aware of that. But at the beginning of the month, there are some shifts that you could feel a little bit frustrated with people or cranky. And also, you know, you're dealing with other people feeling a little bit under pressure as well, and that can make people feel like highly pressured and combustible. Let's put it that way. But, you know, I want you to be aware this Ace of Swords is an idea. Okay, so I feel a lot of you brainstorming this month may have a sudden epiphany on how to transform your life or how to be more efficient in your everyday circumstances. I feel, of course, you're being really organized, but you may be calling your life into review to be more productive, but in a more clever way. I feel for some of you, there is this energy of getting clear on a plan or the next steps. I mean, Eight of Pentacles is that routine, so it could be that you realize structure works really well for you, but sometimes you need to break out. You need to be free. You can't be stuck in the same energy over and over again, because it will kind of grind you down. And I feel a lot of you may have been under a lot of pressure recently. So there could be a new idea that happens just before sleeping, or even just when you wake up, actually, because I feel this energy of bed. Maybe it's because this person is in a hammock, I'm not sure, but I'm getting this energy of like when you're in bed, when you just wake up, or just before you go to sleep, you're going to have some really wild and wonderful ideas, and a lot of them could be money-making ideas as well. They hold value, okay, because the second house is all about your money. So you're going to be like structuring savings plans, and it could come off the back of feeling that there's been some sort of excess here, or I mean, for some of you, the tower can be that you're coming into July because you're shocked with something. And it can be that suddenly you are being more productive, or there's a flurry of activities to get clear on something. Ace of Swords is clarity of thought. It can be that suddenly you need to sign some documents that perhaps have been overlooked or missed in the fray of just running life. For some of you, if you are currently waiting for some sort of medical procedure, for example, and you've been waiting for some time, you know, there could be some sort of sudden last minute cancellation, and you're offered an appointment, and then you have to have this flurry of activity rearranging your life. I want you to be aware it's something that you already are, you know, aware of. I don't feel it's anything that's going to surprise you, because the first card is a tower, and that normally means it's something that you've been dealing with. But it can indicate that, you know, suddenly you have to rearrange or reschedule something in the month of July to make something work. And you may have to do it quickly, or make a decision quickly and say, yep, I'll take that one, because you've waited so long. Now, for some of you, there could be a clash in your diary, you know, invited to something that you really want to go to, but you may have something else on. So this could be a restructure of of a schedule, or perhaps you decide to cut something out and say, actually, I'm not going to go to this, or it's not something that benefits me. And it may shock the person who invited you. They either were relying on you to be there, or they really thought it was something you'd attend, for example. But I think here that you're prioritizing your own needs, and not in a rude way. I feel like you let them down in a nice way. You give them prior notice, but this person may try to hold that over your head for some time. But I really feel like you are not a people pleaser, so you don't need any validation from anybody. I feel like you're owning your own time and being productive and doing what you feel is right for you during this month. Now, Ace of Swords, of course, this can indicate a lot of new ideas, as I mentioned, but also this could be you making a decision, getting mental clarity on something and using your intellect. I feel like you're leading with thought. You're very cerebral this month, but all these thoughts are about how to change your life, how to rebuild, or how to construct something. And I want to sort of address, if you've come to this reading and you have lost your job, for example, and this is only if you've come to this reading and had a shock there with perhaps your job. If you are looking for a new role, for example, I actually feel a star role coming on in. And what I mean by star role is that you make it your own and you really stand out from the crowd. I feel like there's a very competitive energy about jobs right now. Everybody is searching. And with that Six of Pentacles, I feel like you find balance there. A lot of you, this could be that you're kind of like working in one area, really focused like a niche in something, but you're going to work really hard and you're going to master this, whatever this is, okay? I feel that that Eight of Pentacles indicates that the spotlight is on you with that star energy, and I feel, you know, you're serious about this new role and you really impress right from the very beginning. So I see a lot of you, it feels somehow that you know already this industry, or whatever it is that you do. So if you're looking for a new role or a new opportunity, one could come in really quickly, like shockingly quick, and you may have to make arrangements. Perhaps you've got prior engagements, or even some of you may be in a current role and you're putting your resume out there to find alternative opportunities. But it's so quick how it happens. Something arises and then suddenly, you know, you have to get everything organized, and then you sort of hit the ground running there. Also, Six of Cups, I feel like, yeah, you return to something you used to enjoy doing is what I'm seeing there. And the World card indicates that there's a lot of success around this. It gives you options, but it almost feels like it's a niche. And it can open doors of opportunity and portals of, you know, advancement later on. But it feels very much like financially breaking through a glass ceiling. So it could be that you actually earn more money than you were earning before, okay? A lot of you, if you're looking for a promotion in your current working environment, I would say that things are as they are right now. I don't see that there is any like solid, you know, promotions going on at this moment in time. I mean, you've got a lot of sixes here, which is balance, keeping an even keel. But the star energy, along with this Knight of Swords and the Ace of Swords, can indicate that there is some information that comes in that shocks you. So it could be that you hear about a merge in your company if you're working for a certain company, or there could be a restructure of management and everybody feels a little bit nervous about that. But I feel like you are a star worker, so I feel like you are going to work really hard as usual. And the Six of Pentacles energy indicates that, you know, there will be more support, or there will be a fair energy. There could even be a new hire that comes in to offer a support system or network there. I mean, Six of Cups and the Seven of Cups. I would say some of you, there is an energy of witnessing redundancies as well, people leaving, or maybe even not being made redundant, maybe just leaving a position. It can make you feel shocked or even like worried about your own position. But looking at the energy, I don't see that you have anything to be worried about, because Eight of Pentacles is you just minding your own business, working really hard, focusing on building your pension pot, your savings plans. I mean, your second house is really influencing you. That's all about cash. It's about budgets, saving plans, pensions, real estate, your financial future, and leveling up in some way, being that go-getter and achieving what you set out to achieve, but also putting the effort into and seeing results. You know, looking at the energy, it doesn't have to be that you're in a career, but what I'm looking at throughout the whole of this reading is whether you are trying to make headway on a personal project or a diet plan or exercise routine or even a friendship relationship. I feel this energy where success belongs to the consistency of what you're doing right now. And I'm getting this energy that, of course, if you are in business or you are in a career, your talent can take you so far. You stand out from the crowd. You're very gifted. It will help you stand out and shine, but consistency is the key to success. You know, that Eight of Pentacles is showing up for yourself every single day. And I feel that's something that you've been doing, but also it is something that you will continue to do there as well. So a lot of you could be dreaming of a new start somewhere else, maybe even migrating your business or migrating your life, living abroad. This could be the dream, but you're taking necessary steps towards making it happen there. A lot of you with that World card energy, you're locked onto your goals. I mean, you may be looking at service providers this month as well, rolling contracts. You know, I see a lot of you may return to a rolling contract. It could be coming to an end. So I would say check your hard copy mail or spam folder. So there could be something here that is a rolling contract that will charge you again. A lot of you with that Six of Cups, you do want to return the service, or you do want the service to continue. So, you know, you would have signed off on it anyway. But some of you may be shocked, especially if you've taken like a free trial on something. Just be mindful, this is your friendly nudge to cancel it, because it will roll over and it will charge you, and you may not get that money back. Yeah, looking at the energy, you won't get that money back, okay? I want you to be aware of that, so just be mindful. Now, Knight of Swords here indicates that you are someone who is making progress. I feel like you're going to see a lot of that progress this month. And this could be, you know, connected to anything that you're focused on right now. I mean, your thoughts are very powerful. Your thoughts become things. And because you have the Tower there, you may even shock yourself that suddenly you're thinking something and then the universe delivers it. And you have to make a very quick decision on how to deal with this. Okay, so I would say that you're shaping your reality right now. You're rebuilding something, but also you're thinking about the next steps. This is also a card of impatience. So I would just watch any level of impatience, even if you're dealing with impatient people. It doesn't always have to be you. It can be diplomacy is the key to diffusing any conflict there. But the Tower can indicate you're frustrated on something and you know, you want to go faster on something. So it can be that you're building something, but it's a slow process. You're still making headway. You're still advancing, but when you're in the middle of something, it can indicate that you just feel stuck in a rut, that you're in a comfort zone or you're in a structure, a bind, and you want to break out. So I feel a lot of you are breaking free from something, but do be mindful that if this is a contract, there must be a legal way of dealing with this, because the Ace of Swords indicates you must lead with truth, integrity. If you want to, you know, close out a contract, you must fulfill the term, especially since the World card is there. It must be completed, okay? You cannot renege on this, whatever this is. For some of you, you can suspend this until another time. That's what I'm being given. I don't really know what that means, but yeah, I'm going to leave that there. A lot of you are in a flurry of activity to get something done, though, before either an event or some sort of travel. So I feel there is this, you know, big rush at the beginning of the month. Do watch out for any I don't want to say missteps or mistakes, because I feel like you don't really make like a radical mistake. I feel it could be someone else who makes it, but also I feel you will have to return to something to correct it. So I would say if you're traveling, just check the dates. Check that, you know, the travel dates are what you booked, or that they haven't sent you like some sort of document to let you know that there's a delay or that they are rescheduling something. So because I'm getting like a disruptive energy with that Tower, I'm going to pull a card on it just to see a little bit more. But because, you know, there are swords there, a lot of you, you've got so much on your mind right now, it can be that you could get like a tension headache or some kind of like sinus flare up, for example. I would also say be mindful of your eyes, too much computer screen time or cell phone time, blue light, things like that. But I want you to be aware as well that your ninth house is influencing you, and that is the great quest for meaning. So you are going to philosophically look at your sense of purpose and lean more into connecting to your higher self. You know, you may want to break free and book some foreign travel. A lot of you may also decide to suddenly book a class of learning, for example. And you may be looking at what finances you have in order to book that. But some of you, you know, there's free kind of videos online to learn things. And I see here a lot of you will be able to save because you have savings energy here. Six of Pentacles kind of means your finances plateau. What you kind of had last month, you're going to kind of have just a little bit more this month. So it could be that you're saving a little bit more this month than you did last month because, you know, that tower can indicate some sort of shock or I wouldn't say it's a shock bill looking at the energy, but you're going from an 8 of Pentacles to a 2 of Pentacles, and I feel to a 6 of Pentacles rather, not a 2 of Pentacles. I feel it's important to recognize the 2 of Pentacles was my mathematical brain going, okay, that's 2 Pentacles less. So I would say here that you're just giving out to bills and usual kind of typical purchases, for example. We have the 9 of Wands. You're holding it all together. You're under a lot of pressure. You have the Knight of Wands as well, and you have the High Priestess. So some of you could be working secretly on some sort of plan or project that's hard. You're under a lot of pressure, perhaps to do 2 things at the same time. The Knight of Wands is all about an adventure. You are desiring something new. I feel there is this kind of energy of wanting adventure or to break out of the norm, but there could be some sort of rash, impulsive behavior where suddenly you book a trip, okay, and you're like, oh, you know, too late, I'm on vacation, and you just sent the email to your boss saying, is it okay if I take Friday off? And you're like already on the plane, you know, sort of thing, without even getting the communication. But, you know, that 9 of Wands energy indicates that you're doing a lot of questioning, but also you're close to capacity. It's like you've got a lot on your plate right now, and you're exhausted. And a lot of you are trying to maintain and sustain, and the world is very pressurized right now, especially since you have the World card there as well. I feel like you're trying to complete something that is ongoing and it feels never ending, but it will come to a natural conclusion. I mean, some of you could also be applying for something and you're uncertain as to how it's going to go. Well, you're going to get that communication that helps you see that you've aligned with some level of success. Believe in yourself, you shall receive this level of success there. A lot of you with that 9th house and the High Priestess, you're connecting to maybe spiritual rituals, things like meditation, quiet time, connecting to your higher self, visualization, manifestation, and, you know, definitely learning more about yourself and what you're capable of, especially under pressure with that 9 of Wands there. But because you have the High Priestess come out, I feel a lot of you are looking at your life in review, you know, taking stock of things, wanting a radical revamp of something. It feels like something has to change. And of course, you have the World card there, so it can indicate globally you've been very shocked with the Tower of global events recently. We've all been watching, being very vigilant, and you know, seeing how this could escalate and how it involves everybody. So it could be something that's on your mind, and for some of you it'll be more at the forefront of your mind than in the back of your mind, but others it may be that you are like trying to put it to the back of your mind so that you can focus on the energy of transforming your life. A lot of you are going to have money-making ideas for security. A lot of you there as well is just keep on working, and 6 of Pentacles bring balance into your life. I also feel with that 6 of Pentacles that there is an energy of you just making sure that you don't give out too much of yourself, because you're depleted in your energy. And you know, if you constantly keep giving to something and you feel it's one note, or you just keep on pushing forward, I feel there will be a breaking point, and a lot of you may actually be at that right now. So taking good quality rest is important, okay? Now the World card, it's in the resistance position at first, okay? So you may have been experiencing a lot of delays, but I feel you kind of get a cosmic thumbs up this month. Things are moving forward, nice information coming towards you, good news coming towards you as well. But Eight of Pentacles indicates a maintaining and sustaining, that you're working really hard to make life work. And it's going to be not a month where nothing happens, as it were. I just feel there's this energy of like, same old thing, just a different day. How can I have a little bit more spice in life? How can I add some variety? And the World card can indicate that there is like some sort of pause before you take a radical new decision or shift in a different direction. It could be that the goal is still the same, however, you approach it in a different way. And it says here, you are complete. A pause before a new start. Take a breath. Yes, with that Tower energy, it's time to take a breath. You don't have to do everything all in one day. So prioritizing what's important is indeed, you know, the way to move forward in July. Getting an energy of, you know, consistency, but also sticking to your plans, making sure that you don't fall back into cycles of repeat. A lot of you are breaking free from a repetitive cycle. The world can be something that is repetitive when it's connected to that Eight of Pentacles. A certain level of the structure will remain, so you can, you know, connect to rituals or routines, as it were, that will benefit you and keep you grounded there. But ultimately, I feel there is a need here for something new. And a lot of you will be invited to something exciting. You're going to be really discerning about the invitations that you keep at this time. I do see you letting down one person or rescheduling something there. Some of you may also have a delay when it comes to travel. I hate to give that message, but it is there. You may get compensation. And that's going to highlight the level that some of you, not all of you, I'm only getting about 5% energy right now. Some of you may actually have such a lengthy delay that you're going to get compensation that will literally kind of pay for your travel. You know, I feel you can't get back time, and time is the most important commodity that we have. However, you know, you are going to get some money back. So I see a rebate for some of you. I do see for some of you there will be royalty, or something from your past informs your present. You know, something that you invested in or worked really hard to accomplish, it pays dividends during this month, or it just helps you out in some way. And if you lent, you know, some money to a person and you thought, well, I'm never going to get that back, you know, this person may actually surprise you by trying to pay back some amount of that money. Not all, they fall short of the whole amount. It's something that's ongoing, but they make an effort to at least pay something back there, okay? Now, Six of Cups is literally a return to happier times, okay? It means the universe is offering you divine intervention and some sort of opportunity is coming on in. Now, for some of you, I'm actually getting this energy of getting a surprise gift. So I'm not seeing a person here, but with that Knight of Swords, it's someone you know. It's someone who perhaps has a different lifestyle to you. Maybe there's been a bit of a tense energy between you both recently. This could be a friend, it could be a neighbor, it could be a boss, it could be someone in your community. It feels like, not eggshells, I just feel like there's some sort of like conversation that went down that was a little bit touchy, and I feel this person may actually surprise you by giving you a gift. They're not trying to buy back your affection or, you know, kind of like not take accountability for their actions. I feel like they've been deeply reflecting on something. So if someone's hurt you, I feel they may actually come towards you with a little gift there to make amends. The star energy indicates they will actually authentically want to make it right, okay? Now, Six of Cups, very nostalgic card. So a lot of you, my beautiful Sagittarians, could see an ex return, but a lot of you with that Tower, you're shocked. And I feel there's this energy of letting them know that you've moved on. You know, Knight of Swords does not go back to the past, moving forward only. So I feel there is an energy of being in two minds at first, maybe thinking about confronting this person. However, a lot of you are like, you know what? I've got on with life. I don't need them. So do I need that drama? I feel a lot of you want more peace, more harmony, more balance. So I feel like you could be finally cutting the cords to a past situation. This doesn't have to be an ex. This could also be someone you argued with, or, you know, someone from your past that perhaps you feel was a bad influence in some way. And I feel like you may try to kind of complete that cycle, that karmic energy, and say, no, I don't accept that back anymore. Thanks very much, but goodbye now. Now, the Six of Cups, of course, is an energy of, you know, you doing your best, offering everything that you have in something that you care about. So I feel here that there is an energy of something kind of like being reflected back to you. It's a win, as it were. It feels like almost like a reflection, a mirror that, you know, you've been working really hard, and for some of you, it feels like it's been without pleasure. So I feel there is this sense of something is ongoing, and when you have to maintain something that's ongoing, it always feels like there's no tangible goal, as it were. So I feel you may actually have some sort of reward or win or something that acknowledges that there is a reward, and it just makes things worth the while, if that makes sense. Also, I feel there is this sense of serenity, okay, after some sort of shock. If you are someone who is recalibrating after a surprise or a foundational shift, it can be that, you know, you return to better times there with this card and you complete that cycle. The world indicates that you end a challenging situation in order to heal, but also to align yourself with a wish with that star energy. A lot of you are going to get a shocking opportunity, and it's something that is talked about. It's something that doesn't materialize until later. So I would say August is when things start to really come into effect. But I feel like you hear about it or you get information on it. Also, I hate to give this message, but some of you may actually get a speeding fine, so watch your speed. I mean, it's always important to watch your speed, but if you're going through a neighborhood that is unfamiliar to you, for example, and you didn't see the speed limit, or perhaps it was hidden, you know, looking at the energy though, I feel Eight of Pentacles, yeah, I feel someone could kind of like offer up a photograph to say, well, there's the speed limit right there on the sign. I'm just getting this energy of like, you could have missed it because you're deep in thought. And that's, of course, human nature. But I feel for some of you, there could be like a speeding fine just because we have this card with the Tower. My guides just pointed at the two cards and were like, don't forget how this can be like a problem. So that's what they're giving me. That's not going to resonate with all of you. I hope it resonates with none of you, but it is something that comes in there. So I would say watch your speed, but that's in general. I feel going too quickly is going to make you have to return to things, you know, look things over, especially if you're signing contracts as well there. If you have a very important date scheduled, I do see a reschedule of it, which will be frustrating. You're not going to be angry about it, but it could be delayed and a little bit frustrating, but it will happen when it's meant to happen. So I want you to be aware of that as well. Now, Seven of Cups in the resistance position is actually very positive. It means where you were feeling a little bit clouded, or where you're feeling a little bit like out of sorts, or even if your energy has been fluctuating, hormonal kind of like fluctuations there, you may have been feeling a bit out of sorts within yourself. It means you get clear on what it is that you have to radically shift. So that's what I mean. Some of you may actually have like a wake-up call. You know, the Tower can be tension, so it can be that you're trying to manage stress levels, okay? And you're not wanting to kind of like say things that you don't mean when you're under pressure to people that you really care about. But a lot of you, it could be that you are radically saying, okay, I got to take charge of this. I've got to make sure that I stick to a plan, because something feels like it built up over time and it's come to a critical position where you really feel like you need to do something about it now. So you're looking at your options, okay? Seven of Cups, when it goes into the upright, which it will, it's also a very positive card because it indicates that you do have options, and this is about you using your imagination. Now, when I get the Tower and a Seven of Cups, it can mean that the time of dreaming is over. It is now time to take action on something. So if you've been finalizing plans, I would say this is a month where you're going to be very productive indeed, very busy. And I feel like your visions are starting to take shape and become tangible because you're leaving with Pentacles there, which means things are starting to come together. But also, I feel like you are trying to find meaning in it all, okay? And because the ninth house is there, it means that you're speaking your truth, you're leading with your truth, and you're doing what is right for your situation. But also, some of you, you could deal with some legalities. These could be like legal contracts, you know, documentation. For some of you, you may actually get jury service during this time, where you have to step up and do your duty on some sort of jury panel where you judge, you know, some sort of crime, for example, and you have to give what you feel is right. on the situation. And this could kind of like clash with your plans because the Tower is there. It can be like you thought you were going to be going on a vacation, okay, and you were getting everything done at work, but then suddenly jury service comes in and it clashes with work in some way, and maybe your work says, okay, you can go off and do it, but perhaps it nibbles into some of your vacational time. You may try to actually get it rescheduled, and you will. However, you may have to sacrifice something else that you're more willing to sacrifice rather than a vacation. I feel like they'll let you off based on you going away on a vacation, but you will have to provide proof that you've already booked something. And then, of course, you'll do it a little bit later on. It feels like it will be delayed there for you. But ultimately, let's bring this back to you. I feel like you're trusting your visions. I feel like you're allowing yourself to dream of the bigger picture. Things have been highly pressurized, but the Tower can be a marker of tension that something needs to change and that you're coming out of your comfort zone in order to make it happen. Dreams do come true, and that star energy indicates that you're aligning yourself with that wish, and you're shocked that everything is starting to happen. Hope is returning for you, and you're clear on what you want, but also you're clear that there's been divine intervention to make you feel a little bit more solid or secure in your plans and what you've been working hard to accomplish. Six of Pentacles is some sort of surprise finances. So some of you with that Six of Cups, Six of Pentacles, a star energy, and a Tower, that would tell me that some of you may get a small win financially, or even in some sort of competitive arena. So if you're reaching for something, I feel like there could be a win here. And if you are involved in like the lottery, I'm not saying to get involved in the lottery, but if you're in a syndicate, for example, there could be a shocking win there that gets shared out amongst people, because we have Six Pentacles, which is to share. Okay, but it could be that you are divinely blessed by the universe, especially at the end of the month. Something feels like it's aligning for you. Suddenly things are getting better. And a lot of you could be in the spotlight, a review. So if you are in a career, there could be some sort of meeting, important meeting there where you get to speak your truth. I mean, just be a little bit mindful of nervousness, especially if you're giving a presentation. This is a reminder to take a breath with that world energy, because if you're delivering your truth or delivering a presentation, nerves with that Tower could get the better of you. If you work for a company as well, there could be a shocking absence and you may have to take the reins on something. So if someone else was meant to deliver a presentation, suddenly they could be absent, and then the responsibility falls to you, and you have to suddenly get everything together. You're going to breeze it. You're going to be amazing. Don't worry about it, because I feel you actually showcase your skills and it opens up portals of opportunity for you. But for a lot of you, there could be some change in the neighborhood. This doesn't have to be about career this month. This can be that, there's something monumental happening in the neighborhood, especially with the Tower. It could be that there's roadworks, more of those. There's roadworks all the time. No one doing the roadworks, but the roadworks are there and no one can get through. So it could be that there's a potential to limit progress in traffic, for example. So leave a little bit earlier if you are going to an important meeting or an appointment. You could encounter some sort of roadworks there. And if you're trying to be very focused on something, because the Ace of Swords is all about focus, okay? And the Tower can indicate there's a distraction. So if you've decided to work from home, for example, it could be that the neighbor is doing some DIY. Or if you are trying to focus on something at work, perhaps they're having a refurb, or the company next door are making some noise, or there's some sort of, work going on outside that has the potential to distract you. So some of you could actually take yourself elsewhere. Now also, because you're deep in thought, a lot of you could be thinking about life abroad with that world energy, and the star indicates you're getting clear on the necessary structure or legalities regarding migrating your life. Maybe this is connected to a visa or passport, the opportunities to work abroad for some of you. It could be that you're running your own business and thinking about migrating. A lot of you with that Knight of Swords, you're thinking about working on the go. So you could be having ideas at this time in order to be more nomadic in your working environment, or even working smarter, not harder, so that you can actually have more free time. I feel there could be a rescheduled transformation going on for you that frees up time. But the star energy indicates healing. It indicates hope and clarity, but also an alignment with something that you truly desire. So I would say this is a brighter future for you to look forward to. So July is going to be a really positive month, especially at the end of the month. at least the 3rd and 4th week there. I feel there's a lot of like upheaval or having to be flexible in the beginning of the month there. I feel, you know, you've got a lot on your plate. And it says here, a sign of a peaceful period of healing, feeling truly confident and comfortable in your own skin, in being yourself around other people. So some of you could conquer shyness, or you could actually, you know, join a group of people where you do a creative activity and you kind of like gel with people. The star energy indicates that you're allowing yourself to be seen. It always comes after, you know, the Tower. So it kind of means that whatever you've been going through that has been challenging, now you can see why it happened. You can see how it is helping you align. This could be a removal of an energy block. If you've been feeling exhausted or depleted, you've had so much on your mind there, it could be that, you know, you felt highly pressurized and you need to recalibrate, get back into balance. So a lot of you could be looking at your health this month, especially since you've got the star energy and your 2nd house. You know, it's all about valuing yourself and your time. Some of you could get a little bit frustrated there that someone tries to waste your time as well. You know, I don't think they do it on purpose, but they just do it, you know. So I feel you could school someone on them wasting your time, and you may not deal with this person again. So it depends on what you're searching for, because some of you, it could be connected to searching for something, information or a property or a car or a job opportunity. You know, it could be that something happens with a meeting, or something happens where you feel like, well, you wasted my time. And you may feel really frustrated, but you're like, you know what, on to the next. That's it. And you move on there. We do have that 8 of Pentacles. So this is maintaining and sustaining. This is not a month where, you know, loads of things are going to happen for you, is what I feel. I just feel like you're just doing life and you're keeping things maintained, which is wonderful. I do feel there is some nice communication coming on in that you will celebrate, because the Star and the World, they are celebratory cards, but also there could be some shocking news that really puts things into perspective. So you could hear about someone that you used to know, someone from your past, because the 6 of Cups is there. There could be some shocking information about this person that really just puts things into perspective, and you just feel really kind of grateful for where you are at right now. I hate to give that message, but it is coming through there. But let's bring this back to self, because the 8 of Pentacles, 8 is all about the self. So I feel this is you mastering something, conquering something, but also building something with a repetitive routine, but also being able to kind of break out or strike out in a different direction. You're committed to something, you're dedicated, and you're going to see the measure of success. But, you know, this Tower, it can be a really welcome surprise, because the 6 of Pentacles is divine intervention from the universe to send you a gift or an opportunity that you will find relief in, okay? It's like an energy of financial stability or favorable times for you where financial problems are overcome. For some of you, this could be second streams of income. You could see like one of your endeavors really have a glow up or go viral this month. For some of you, a lot of you are looking to the internet or new technology, innovation energy, so that you can get online in order to like learn more or earn more at this time. These could be things that are secondary and kind of running on in the background for you there. But I feel a lot of you, there is this energy of doing something alone right now, even though you're still integrated or you still intend to integrate with that world energy. So I feel there could be invitations coming in for you to spend quality time with people you haven't seen for a long time. And I even feel a reunion energy here as well. So some of you could be invited to a reunion or even bump into someone like as a surprise, because I feel there's a lot of plot twists going on for you this month. But mostly I feel like you're restructuring. You're highly energized, you are focused, you're diligent, you have your eye on the prize, and you're moving forward, and you're going to see a lot of advancement. And I feel there is something here you celebrate. And also I feel like your heart space is opening up. You're seeing that you are formed under pressure, and you've been under a lot of pressure, but now I feel the tangible kind of reward is being offered to you. As you can see, there's a little pearl there. So pearl of wisdom means you've learned a lot in your circumstances, but a pearl is basically a little, you know, kind of a bit of sand that got into it's like a clam shape, you know, oyster type thing. And, you know, that little piece of sand is like the tower there. It's like a little blip, or it's a little like anomaly that gets in, you know, something that shouldn't be there, or something that kind of like plot twists, and it gets in there, and then it gets formed under pressure and becomes a pearl. It becomes something really valuable. So I feel you could be launching something that ends up being really valuable, or you're doing something right now that you feel is challenging, and it feels like you're in a bit of a blip or in the middle of a storm, as it were, but it's going to be very valuable to you, and it's going to see you be very secure and help you open up portals of opportunity to align with more of your dreams. Because I feel like there is a measure of success here where you feel like you've hit a plateau or a glass ceiling, or you've hit a level and you need to go higher. So for example, if right now you're focused on hitting the gym and you've reached a certain plateau in your exercise plan, and you know, when we do something all the time, the body gets used to it. And it says, okay, I'm used to that now, so you need to stretch even further, or you need to implement a new exercise to work the muscle in a different way. So I feel a lot of you right now are working your life in a different way so that you can see more evidence of advancement or reward or things taking shape, if that makes sense. And this is the month where you're going to see that. Crystal clear. We've got bad gossip here as well. Okay, that did not come out in your reading, but I did kind of like pick up at the beginning that there may be some critical conversation. The guys want me to go 2 more, so I will. Thank you so much. 1, 2, yes. Okay. So yeah, you could be calling someone out. But bad gossip is there. I mean, it's all about talking, of course. So it could be, as I said, someone, you know, interrupting your sentences, but it could be that you're calling someone out, that you've heard something behind the scenes. But my readings are not really about gossip or anything like that. So, you know, if that's something you're dealing with, looking at it, I feel like you're empowered. And, you know, sometimes people are going to talk because they see things in you that they don't have in themselves, and they feel that you're a threat, or they feel jealous of you, you know. I feel sometimes when people are not talking about you, that's probably the problem, you know. So if anyone's talking about you, good, bad, or indifferent, I feel like you're still being talked about, and it's because you're making waves. It's because you're doing something that stands out. And people try to knock people down when they're about to reach for something really successful. So I would say, you know, let haters hate. You're doing you, and I feel like you're going to be very successful in whatever it is that you are doing. So we have, yeah, helpful change. You know, the nature of like an oyster, the sand is a piece of grit, and it gets in there, but it is a helpful change because it shifts all the, you know, materials in there, all the ingredients of what an oyster is made up of, and it forms a pearl. And not every, and I'm not sure about this, I'm gonna have to look this up, but I feel that not every like oyster has a pearl in it. Is that true? I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to look that up. But I feel perhaps something very unique that you're doing, it's encountering some sort of like plot twist, and it feels like it could be negative, but actually it's a positive surprise. It is actually a gift sent from the universe in some way, okay? So let's get to your final cards. We've got crystal clear. So that's the review period, getting clear on something. You know, that Ace of Swords is there, getting clear before you take action, decisive action on something that will actually align you with a goal and a win there. And it says it's time to see your life and its limitless potential without seeing through rose-tinted glasses. I mean, the Six of Cups can be a rose-tinted glass. Nostalgia. If something didn't work out in the past, doesn't mean it's not going to work out this time. You know, if you've struggled in the past, does not mean you're going to struggle again in this moment. I mean, none of you got any romantic cards here, so it doesn't mean that you're not focused on love, but perhaps if you are looking for love, the Six of Cups can indicate that, you know, someone has a crush on you in the position that it's in. But with the Seven of Cups there, I feel, you know, there is this energy of this person sitting on it. They're not going to reveal it right now. I mean, they may reveal around about August, but, you know, it could come through a third party. For example, someone tells you about someone having a crush on you, and you're like, well, why didn't they just come and tell me themselves? I feel like you need someone who's strong enough to walk by your side. So, you know, this could be something that you have to think about. But it says here clarity, certainty, and truth. And you're leading with both this month. So I feel this is about revolutionizing your life in some way. You are the plot twist this month, and it's going to be a lot of fun, is what I see. You're still going to connect to your responsibilities, but it says here bad gossip, okay? People are gossiping behind your back. It would be wise to be careful with your actions right now. Bad reputation, enemy, bad talk. I mean, if you're doing anything negative, I feel like you will be caught. The star energy reveals, okay? But I don't think you're doing anything negative because you've got the Ace of Swords, which means you're leading with truth and integrity. But also I feel, you know, if you're creating anything or launching anything, patent it, trademark it, copyright it. You know, sometimes people may even talk negatively about something that you are doing that is successful because either they're not capable of doing it themselves, or, you know, it can be that they're disgruntled. They don't know what your success takes. They don't know all the hard work, all the sleepless nights, all the blood, sweat, and tears, all the, you know, things that didn't go well, the things that you had to reframe or restructure in order to correct and get back on track. They didn't see all those things behind the scenes. They just see your success. You know what it takes to run your life, and you know how hard you are investing right now. And I feel that there will be a reward for you, but don't listen to any negative comments or naysayers because I feel like you're doing a great job, okay? But there may be some sort of interference where someone tries to give their 2 cents of how you should be doing things, and you're like, well, I don't see you doing anything like this, so, you know, come at me when you are more knowledgeable in what it is that I'm doing, okay? So we have an imbalance here. I did pick up on that. Some of you, this could be hormonal related. I feel there could be something out of kilter there, but I feel like you get back into balance because the World card is there. And it says there is an unequal power dynamic in a situation that needs to be brought back to balance. Unequal, unfair, and conflict. I mean, harmony does reign. 6 of Pentacles indicates balance will be back in the flow there. So whether this is a bodily kind of energy or whether this is a power play or a dynamic shift in energy with a person, I feel things will recalibrate there. But I feel there's just this energy that came out right from the very beginning with the Gaia chime, that something feels like it's one note. You know, there is an imbalance if you're doing one thing all the time. And of course, life is very challenging right now. It may require you to do one thing all the time to make sure you master it or structure it in a certain way. But variety is the spice of life. So if you can carve out some time to do something different or extra or something that, you know, awakens your soul in amongst all the responsibility and the heaviness, I feel this will bring you back into balance and reignite that spark or reconnect you to a part of yourself that you feel has been a little bit dormant or just out of kilter recently. Now we also have exploring your options, so very explorative month here. I feel like the only way is up for you. That's including the Tower. You know, it's this like pent-up energy of like combustible energy. Things are going to be looking up. You are reaching new levels. You cannot stay in the same position. So something needs to change there. Now, this is coming through and it may not resonate with everyone, but it's something that has come up in a reading before, okay? But my guides are showing me in the water right now an image of it. And there was a scientific experiment regarding fleas, okay? You know, ooh, it gives me the shivers, but you know, it is the experiment that I'm being shown, so I have to give it to you. Now, fleas, they jump really high, okay? And scientifically, they took a whole load of fleas and put them in a jar, and they put a lid on that jar, okay? And those fleas, they continued jumping. That's just what they do, okay? And they reached a certain level. And over time, it's like they kept hitting the same level. And then the scientists took the lid off the jar, okay, and the fleas remained at that level because that was their construct, that was their confinement, that was what they learnt was the environment. You know, sometimes we are born into this world and we are given a level of expectation based on our circumstances. And I feel that this is about you breaking out of something that has been like limiting you for some time because you are limitless. but you may have expected certain things to just be this way because that's the way they've always been. But now with that Tower, you're breaking free. Imagine the Tower as being that jar, that you've hit that level for so long and you're like, oh my gosh, something has to give. And then even when the lid is taken off, you're kind of like still jumping at that level going, okay, there's no lid now, but I'm still kind of at the same level. So what's the problem? And now you are revamping and having a change of mindset and saying, you know what, I'm breaking free from this. I'm going to jump as high as I can. I'm not going to reach the limitation or the expectation. I'm going to go further. I'm going to go beyond. And I feel like you're going to be really proud of yourself because there's so much success on the other side. But it says here, explore new opportunities and take a look into other options that you may not have even noticed before. Choices, opportunities, and refocus. So you are focused, but also refocusing because that world energy indicates there's some sort of new start here for you. Now, this could be a new neighborhood, new opportunity, new job, new way of living, new style. Whatever it is, I feel you just want something to be different and new right now, and I feel like you're exploring your options. Now, we also have helpful change. This is about you spreading your wings and flying. If you think about the nature of a caterpillar, you know, caterpillar just going on, doing its life, you know, walking along. I don't know why I'm doing it like this, but it's coming like this to me right now. And then suddenly it goes in the chrysalis. You know, it's been mobile for some time, doing its life, munching away on leaves, you know, and then it goes into the chrysalis where it is suspended. Nothing's happening. In fact, it goes to the point where the whole form is dissolved. So some of you may feel that life has radically changed with this Tower. Almost to the point where you feel like you're not your usual self, or things are dissolving and things are so different and you're like feeling a bit isolated or discombobulated in the changes. But actually it's a helpful change because the caterpillar is about to dissolve its sense of self and grow wings to fly, to elevate, to move beyond the position it was in before. And I feel this is what you're going through. It feels like something that was a blip. But now it is a helpful change and it helps you elevate and fly, okay? It says you will navigate through change successfully by allowing the universe to assist you when you need it most. Here's the assistance. You're open to receive. And I feel like, you know, the only way is up. But it also has pause and reflect. Be mindful of your self-talk. So this can be with that high pressure energy, with that Tower. The Ace of Swords can be that sometimes under pressure, you are critical with yourself. You tear yourself down. And now is the time to actually build yourself up and watch how you talk to yourself because thoughts become things. So it says here, be mindful of your self-talk and solve your problems with the fullest mental clarity. That's exactly what you're going to do. This is a big problem-solving month for you. And it says stagnation, release, and stillness. So this is the release point. This is the moment where there is going to be that pause, that breakthrough, okay? And I feel it takes you out of a period of stagnancy or something that has been one note. So, you know, even if it's a schedule change, you're like, okay, I go to this place every day, I do this, I do that, the other, then I come home and I do this, and you're like, okay, it's nice. You know, you feel secure in that, but sometimes that becomes a little bit like predictable. And this month is all about being unpredictable. So that Tower is like, okay, plot twist. And I feel like you're in control of that, okay? So I'm just going to go and get a trinket or a rune before we go. Oh, we have the octopus. So that is to remain fluid in the changes, but also you're going to have many fingers in many pies. You're doing a lot of things, okay? So make sure you prioritize, but also remember you are a sentient being. You are someone who is here to have a human experience. You don't just have to be here to do, okay? And it's important to recognize that because I feel a lot of you have been just doing recently and now you're here to experience. So this month could be, you know, a pause for you to do some things to give back to self, okay? To acknowledge how you feel about what's been going on and what you're learning from the experiences that you've been given right now, both good, bad, and ugly, okay? So I'll leave it there. I hope something resonates, my beautiful Sagittarians. Thank you so much, and love and light.